Hello, I'm Harry Hobson, President and CEO of Plymouth Harbor.
And I'm Karen Novak, the Administrator for Strategic Healthcare Initiatives here at Plymouth Harbor.
Hello, Karen. Karen, I know we've got an update today, probably not a lengthy update, but yet an important one. But before we get started, I just want to set the record straight. Karen, last week during our COVID update, we reported on a situation whereby a resident was experiencing COVID-like symptoms. That resident subsequently was transferred and admitted to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where she did then test positive. Now, during our report, we erroneously stated this person, along with two or three of other residents, traveled off campus for dinner. The report suggested they were not wearing their masks. Let me set the record straight. The ladies did not go off campus for dinner, but rather enjoyed a dinner that was delivered to our front lobby by one of the sons. The dinner occurred in the apartment of one of the ladies here at Plymouth Harbor, and we've got every reason to believe they indeed were wearing their masks. Both Karen and I sincerely apologize if we made anyone feel uncomfortable during this report. Karen, I know we've got a campus update, not only regarding this situation, but also with some team members. So why don't you go ahead?
I'm happy to report that all the persons that were actually involved in the event last weekend are all negative. We had them all tested by way of PCR, the gold standard for testing for COVID. Everybody's negative. We have three of the four persons out of isolation or observation, and they are all doing well. Our lady who indeed did test positive is negative, and she too is thriving in her own apartment.
That's good.
So good news.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, and the update that we have today, we currently have no residents that are positive for COVID, but we do have two teammates that are definitely positive now. One has been under observation 2 weeks. We're expecting that person back at the end of this particular week. We will not be testing them per CDC guidelines for 3 months because we know that there are some people that just hang on to that COVID virus. So we'll wait that 3-month time period before we retest them. We also have discovered another person in our team that has tested positive. We have her actually staying at home, being monitored. Strangely enough, she's asymptomatic, which is wonderful news. But again, that's how a lot of these cases kind of erupt and we get these little cluster outbreaks, is that we have these people that are asymptomatic, meaning they don't know that they've got the virus and they are out conducting their life just as they normally would, but they actually are shedding virus. So we are going to be doing our screening for our residents and our team members in those areas. Again, CMS has given us guidelines that will be testing the healthcare service staff and staff and residents twice a week now for at least 14 days or until we have no positives. So we'll be a little bit busy, but again, it's all for the safety, well-being for our teammates as well as the residents in health services.
Good. I think you're doing, you and your team are doing a wonderful job. And I know, Karen, approximately how many team members does that mean in those areas that we're doing twice a week?
It's a little over 250 of our teammates that we will be testing. And that includes some of the departments that kind of interface with the health services, like the dining service or environmental or anybody else that may have the opportunity to meander on over there to the health service centers.
Right. Okay.
I do want to share that something unique. Our positivity rate for the county of Sarasota is actually going up. We were at 3.9%, but now we are at 4.6%. So we've seen a drastic increase in the number of positive cases in Sarasota. but that's not unique to Sarasota. I think the northern states of the United States are actually starting to enter their second wave now of COVID. And with that second wave, we're also going to see flu coming into the picture. So we want to remind everybody to get your flu shots here at Plymouth Harbor. You don't need to bring anything but yourself down to home care, and we will gladly give you your flu shot. So really, if ever there was a year to get your flu shot, this is the year.
Well, Karen, we go with evidence-based resources, and I know with CDC, National Institute of Health, Leading Age, and others, as many of our residents and their families are seeing on TV, these next few months are going to be a real challenge, and we're going to try to do our best to stay ahead of that curve. If that means we need to pull back a little bit on some of the reopening we did, we'll do that. But if we have to do that, we'll do it very thoughtfully and, again, in the best health and well-being of our residents and our team members. So
absolutely, Harry. This second wave is a little bit different than the first one because we are starting at a higher positivity rate than we did with the first wave. So this one, probably within the next 6 to 12 weeks, we really ought to see an increase in the number of cases as well as the number of admissions to the hospital. So we're going to be paying close attention to our numbers here in Sarasota as well as the numbers here in Plymouth Harbor. And this is where we need your help to really comply with those parameters that we've set in place.
It's going to get crowded here. There's one thing I know we all look at, and most of us all made the move from up north at some point in our life, but it's always, we look at it with a smile. And I can tell you since the middle of last week, it seems as though on my travel back and forth to my home, I'm seeing at a minimum of 2 semi-auto transport trucks. And what that means is that the cars are being transported down here and the snowbirds are on their way. So it's going to be a interesting fall and winter for us for sure.
Let's just make it a safe one. So get your flu shot.
That's right. That's right. Well, Karen, I don't know if you have anything else to report. That's all I've got this morning. And if you'd like to close us out appropriately, go ahead. Thank you.
Sure. We want to remind everybody, please keep that social distance, that physical distance of at least 6 foot around you. Be sure to wash your hands quite frequently using an antibacterial soap and hit those high contact areas with those antibacterial wipes. Your phone, your car keys, your door handles, anything that you come in contact with on a regular basis. But probably most importantly, this again is our tool to make sure that we're going to stay safe. You're going to help keep those that you love safe. So please remember, wear your mask. This is a life that you can save and it might be yours. So remember to take your mask where you go and put it on.
Great. Thank you, Karen, so much. And that brings conclusion to this video. So it's time for us to don our mask.